What's up, guys? It's Lugo back with Flex Appeal 76. Today was week 13, day 3 of the strength block. I did deadlifts today. I had a 1 by 4 at 180 kilos or 396 with back downs at 160 or 352 for a 2 by 4. Felt pretty good, pretty strong warming up. I took a little bit less warm ups, just because I want to preserve some energy since it is getting heavy. And honestly, this moved pretty well. From jumping, I think last week I did like 374 for a top set of six, and so adding about 22 kilos to that was pretty good, or not 22 kilos, 22 pounds, 10 kilos up from last week, and it still moved pretty well. And then I'm just trying to wedge myself in a good position, make sure that when I start to lose that brace that I reset at the bottom, which is why you see me like push my hips really high, because I'm trying to get air in my stomach and it usually helps a little bit more, and then I pull my lats in and then wedge myself into the bar. It's an effective strategy, especially because I feel like after maybe one or two reps, or not one or two, 2 to 3 reps, you end up like losing that brace or that tightness because it's hard to keep straining on deadlift and keep the brace, intact when it gets really a lot heavier for reps. So I try to reset it, and then go from there. Some of my leg raises. I feel like these are definitely looking better. I've been trying to go higher with my legs up and then control it a little bit more. And I definitely can feel the difference of doing that versus how I was doing it before swinging, because my core was kind of lit up while I was doing deadlifts. Because I think I did 2 sets, and then I saved one for like after my deadlifts because it helps my back feel a lot better um, when I do those after. Kind of decompress my back a little bit. The Arsenal strength pull down. This is feeling pretty good. I decided, I'm just gonna take it lower reps this week, because I was doing like 8 or 6, I think, on 2 back downs. But I was like, I'm just gonna do straight sets on this, and then just go down to like 4, because I feel a pretty deep contraction here. My left shoulder was like a little bit weird. I don't know if it's my rear delt being sore because it doesn't feel sore, or just like weak. Like it was really weird. I hadn't had that feeling, but I ended up just trying to take it slower, which is I've been trying to do that on this exercise in general, because I feel like with stuff like this, I feel like you get a lot from maybe exaggerating the eccentric a little bit, not too crazy, but I'm essentially just trying to drive my elbow down, keep my lat from going all the way up, still a little bit locked. And again, I'm not driving too far down. Kind of when I stop feeling lat tension, and really just go up from there and then control it up. I'm happy with these wide pull downs, because I feel like I was jerking a lot, when I was doing these, and I feel like I've definitely got my form back. And when I check myself, I definitely try to, control the weight up at least a little bit more, um, a little bit to like restrict the amount of weight that I could use, and just to get more out of less. And also because I just feel my lats more when I am controlling the eccentric a little bit. But sometimes I'm getting a little too hyped for these, and I end up going a little bit overboard with them. Um, I swapped this completely from chest supported row to Kelsos, because I feel like I think my rear delts are getting a little bit too much work, to the point where it's like making him a little bit sore. And the more that I realized about this is that, like, when I do this row, it's more, I feel like I'm getting a good back stimulus, but I could get the same from just doing Kelsos, right? Because this is just for my mid back traps, rhomboids, stuff like that. And so removing the elbow flexors and removing my rear delts, I feel like I can completely focus on that, because I don't really need the little bit of lats that come from it, considering I do, two lat exercises right before this. So this is just purely for that mid back, which is something that I've lacked for quite a while. I feel like maybe my my retraction hasn't always been the greatest. And maybe a part of it is also too that I haven't really ever been that lean. But I feel like when I look at other people's physiques, specifically for that, when they're lean, you can see it. And I feel like even when I was lean, you couldn't really see it all that well. So it's something that I'm consistently trying to bring up and find new ways. And I do think that Kelso shrugs are something that can, very much help. And I'm not losing anything by not just doing a row on this day specifically because I still do the Arsenal strength row, which is one of my favorite rows. Very heavy, heavy row. Um, Prime Preacher. I moved the peg that the weight was on, or I moved the weight from the peg from the middle to the top because I was doing an easy curl and I was like, this is definitely like this is a mid range loaded exercise. And for preacher specifically, I want it to be like maybe a little bit more lengthened just to get different, you know, loaded ranges. Not to just hammer the same one. And when it's in the middle, it's basically even though it's like your arms in front of you, it feels similar to the easy curl. So I decided to just put it on the top peg. This is something I was doing. I never recorded it because I was too lazy. But the 45-degree back extension is something that I really, really like to do, and I wish that it was on the bottom level so that I could use a barbell. Because using stacking plates is not ideal because they kind of slip and fall. But I decided I'm just gonna do one set on here too, just like my RDLs, and just do like an AMRAP. And I think that was like 145 for like 8 or something. Just lit up my entire posterior chain, and was a good finisher for the workout. Overall, happy with how the workout went. Um, Strength feels good. Upper back is feeling strong. Brace is feeling really, really good. Part of that I think is just due to the amount of core work that I do and that I do during my warm ups to really overemphasize it because I've historically had a weaker core, and that's never good. But overall, I'm happy. Um, that's pretty much it for today, guys. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. I'll see you back on the 22nd for day 4 and my push day. Thanks for watching.